Two football teams walk out onto the pitch. One squad is worth nearly €1 billion. The other one gets called a banana republic. On one side, Germany. Almost €1 billion of pure talent. On the other, Ecuador, from a country most famous for exporting bananas. On paper, this is a massacre. The rich giant versus the cheap little underdog. It is over before kickoff. But here is the strange part. The most expensive team almost never wins. And your most expensive choice almost never wins either. By the end of this, you will never look at a big price tag the same way again. There is a twist most people completely miss. Because money does not kick the ball. And in your wallet, money does not do the thing you think it does. First, let us be fair. The gap is enormous and very real. Germany's squad is valued near €950 million. Two of their players, Musiala and Wirtz, are worth €100 million each, just the two of them. Ecuador's entire squad, all 26 players, is worth around €370 million, less than half of Germany. And the countries themselves are not even close. Germany's economy is around $4.5 trillion. Ecuador's about $120 billion. That makes Germany's economy nearly 40 times bigger. 40. By every number on the spreadsheet, this match is finished before it starts. So your brain does the obvious thing. It assumes expensive automatically equals better. Bigger price, bigger result. And we do this everywhere. The pricier wine must taste better. The dearer laptop must be faster. The billion-euro team must obviously win. It feels like pure common sense. It is also the single most expensive belief you will ever hold in your life. Because price and value are not the same thing at all. Price is what you pay. Value is what you actually get. And the gap between those two is the exact place where you either build real wealth or quietly bleed it away. Watch how it plays out on the pitch first, then watch how the exact same thing plays out in your bank account. Ecuador did not go out and buy €1 billion team. They built a brutally efficient one instead. It is one of the youngest squads in the whole tournament. Cheap, hungry, fast, and almost impossible to score against. In qualifying, Ecuador had one of the meanest defenses on the continent. They did not outspend anyone. They simply outorganized them. That right there is value per dollar, maximum result for minimum price. It is the only number that truly matters. And now, here is the twist hiding inside the twist. Ecuador actually does own one genuinely expensive thing. His name is Moises Caicedo, worth €100 million, the exact same price as Germany's biggest superstar. So one single Ecuadorian midfielder is priced like an entire German superstar. This was never really poor versus rich. It is a team that spent wisely on one powerful engine against a team that spent big on absolutely everything. Now flip all of this straight onto your money. Every day, you are quietly choosing between Germany and Ecuador. Germany is the premium badge, the famous brand name, the most expensive option sitting on the shelf. Ecuador is the quiet, plain option that does 90% of the same job for about a third of the price. And most people, almost on pure reflex, reach straight for the Germany, every single time without thinking. The $80 phone case, just for the logo, when the $40 one protects the exact same phone identically. The name brand cereal, the branded pills, the badge on the car, often the very same factory, sometimes triple the price. None of these are evil. Each one on its own is tiny, and that is exactly what makes them so dangerous. Here is the stat that should haunt every overspender. The most expensive squad usually does not win the World Cup. Favorites get knocked out by cheaper, sharper, hungrier teams constantly. The price tag is a prediction, never a guarantee. Money buys you the favorite's odds. It does not buy you the actual result. The game still has to be played. Your finances work in exactly the same way. Spending more buys you the feeling of a sure thing. It never delivers one. So what are you really paying that giant premium for? Usually not performance. You are paying for reassurance. For the simple comfort of not having to think. The expensive option quietly lets you skip the homework. And that one little mental shortcut, repeated across a whole lifetime of purchases, becomes staggeringly expensive. But remember Ecuador's 100 million euro man? Even smart, disciplined underdogs splurge on something sometimes. The real danger is when your entire budget becomes Caicedo, one shiny, expensive thing that quietly eats everything else. A car payment that swallows your whole salary. A rent that leaves nothing behind. One Germany-sized splurge can sink the entire squad. So the wealthy do something quietly radical. They flatly refuse to confuse the price tag with the prize. They ask one cold little question before almost every purchase. What am I actually getting per dollar right here? Not can I afford it? Not is it nice? Just dollar for dollar, is this the efficient play or the expensive one? And here is where it suddenly gets beautiful. The difference you choose not to spend does not just vanish into thin air. That $30 saved on the case, the $40 on the brand, invested, quietly grows and compounds for decades. You are not being cheap. You are being Ecuador, efficient on the field and stacking the saved difference off it. Over a lifetime, the efficient underdog who invests the gap quietly beats the big spender, almost every single time. So here is your one single move this week. On your very next real purchase, find the Germany and the Ecuador. The flashy premium option and the quiet efficient one that does 90% of the very same job. So buy the Ecuador, the efficient option, then take the difference, the exact premium you just skipped, and move it straight into investing. Do not just save the money in your head, actually relocate it that same day before it quietly evaporates. Do that on 10 purchases and you will honestly feel nothing missing. Do it for 10 years and it is a completely different life. This is the whole underdog money mindset. You do not need the biggest budget in the room to win. You need the best value per dollar plus the discipline to invest what everyone else wastes on the badge. Germany walks out worth nearly €1 billion. Ecuador walks out worth a fraction of that and completely unafraid. Because they already learned the lesson the rich spender never does. Money simply does not kick the ball. The expensive team does not always win. The expensive choice almost never does. Value beats price every time. So next time a big price tag tries to impress you, just smile, pick the Ecuador, and invest the difference. Future you wins the match. Before you go, one quick thing. If this finally made the money stuff make sense, hit that like button and subscribe to Car Money Tips. It is completely free, it helps the channel way more than you would think, and it means more videos exactly like this one. See you in the next one.